That's fine. I don't think Roy is here yet.
Not
I don't
yet?
know
Okay.
if that's who you wanted to start with.
I'm going to start with Suzette just so she
Okay,
can. I
perfect.
just thought if we,
Yep.
okay.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Suzette, just one sec. I just wanted to let everybody know that we are going to be holding another high school council meeting this year in June. So this is not the last one. There will be one more for those of you who are interested. Also, Ms. Myers is recording this. She recorded our last April one, and the link will be available later. And then we're going to head on over to Suzette, who's going to tell us about Memorial Day. Thanks, Suzette.
Hi, guys. I just wanted to give you a quick update on a few initiatives coming out of the PTA. Number one, first and foremost, this is National Teacher Appreciation Week. I'd like to encourage you to send a thank you email to all of our teachers to let them know that you appreciate their flexibility and dedication to our children. Just on a FYI, the PTA has also sent each teacher a small gift of appreciation that went out today. Secondly, if you could just quickly look at our website, it's really taken on a new meaning. It's updated regularly. We post Bronco Beat there. It has a full list of our Be Well offerings. And if you could mark your calendar for the event Thursday, May 7th at 7 p.m., we're doing a webinar on finding calm in the middle of chaos, which I'm sure everyone could use. It is given by Dr. Alec Miller, who is a clinical psychologist. And if you have a burning desire to volunteer in any capacity, there seems to be still some positions existing at the high school and the PTA level. So please take a look. And if you care, reach out to Margaret Kim and Leah Gravier. Finally, we've done a lot of work on reimagining Memorial Day. Can you imagine when your children were in elementary school and remembered how important that milestone weekend was for your kids? It is not going to exist this year. So instead, we're not asking for volunteers or any participation, but we're asking you to take your barbecue or picnic to the front lawn of your property and give back primarily to our community. We've put together a recyclable, reusable canvas bag that's gonna have some Bronxville merchandise, as well as a $25 gift card, which you could redeem at any business in the Bronxville Chamber of Commerce. We will charge $50 for the bag, and it will be posted online very quickly for pre-sale. No need to cook because we've partnered with local restaurants that are going to put tidy menus together for curbside pickups so that you can tailgate or barbecue or have a picnic on your front property. And please join us in social media effort at #BronxvilleTogether, posting your pictures. There's a lot more that we will include in the weekend, including some virtual yoga classes or bar classes and a couple of other things that we've been scrubbing out. So if you have any great ideas, we are readily available and open to conversations. Thanks again for all your support.
Thank you, Suzette. I just also want to let everybody know the middle school is having a book chat and has invited the high school to join, and the book chat will be on unselfie. So the cover of the book is at the bottom of the agenda if anybody wants to grab that and read it before the book chat on May 28th at 7 o'clock. Okay, thanks. I'm going to just pass it off to then the administration, and you guys can go along. Thank you.
Okay, so I think maybe we'll get started with Roy.
Let me unmute myself. Thank you. Hi, everybody. It's good to see you all. Where do we start? Well, I guess obviously the biggest news is that schools are shut down for the rest of the year. That was a huge disappointment for all of us. Again, not totally unexpected, but we did have a glimmer of hope that we were holding on to for everybody. And, when that's taken away, it kind of hit us all a bit hard. Teachers are missing the kids, we're missing each other, and it's been a hard thing to accept. But we're in a process now of reviewing our remote learning plans and trying to um, go the next step and take it to another level as we get through from now until the end of the year on our instructional side. And I will tell you that teachers are working very hard and trying to figure out the best ways to kind of do a hybrid of synchronous and asynchronous learning at the different grade levels. Not everything will look the same, obviously, at each grade level, but we're all trying to get through this and keep the instruction moving in a positive and forward direction. So we're working through that. Our focus now shifts to how do we provide for some end of the year activities in a way that can give our children some level of experiences, whether that's in person, we're hoping to, we'll see what happens, or a combination of live and virtual type experience. I know Ann's going to be covering some of that stuff later on and working with committees to do the best we can at the high school level, but it's also happening at the elementary and middle school levels as well. We're also working on trying to put together a Memorial Day ceremony. As you know, that's one of the big events for the school and for the community. And we feel very strongly that we should try to put something together that we can share with the community. So we're talking about a combination of some pre-recorded type things along with some live speeches that we can stream live on a YouTube channel, similar to what we do with our Board of Ed meetings, that we'll send the link out to everybody. So we hope that the community will join us that way virtually, since we can't do it with a large group. But we have some thoughts on that, and I think we're going to try to put something together that Friday morning prior to Memorial Day, as we have in the past, celebrated on our front lawn. So we have that going on. We have a number of end of the year activities that we're thinking about and trying to work through. We don't know all the structures and guidelines from the state yet. The executive order, the latest one, was it did not have a lot of detail to it other than schools, for us anyway, for schools are closed, but they don't say much more than that. They're reviewing. They haven't talked about summer school at all yet either for the children who are involved in extended school year programs. We're not quite sure what that's going to look like yet or what it might mean yet for all of us. But as soon as we get that guidance, we'll share that with you as well. We're also putting together a reopening strategic planning committee that we want to start thinking about and prioritizing items that we may need to when the reopening occurs. Even if that's September, hopefully it'll be September. There are a number of things that we have to start thinking about, whether realistic or not realistic, we don't know yet, but we really want to be prepared for anything that comes our way. We've been told things like, you have to be prepared for rolling closures in the event that we open and there is an outbreak again. We'll have to be able to close quickly and ramp up the remote learning very quickly. People are talking about potential of split schedules of half the kids coming in the morning, half in the afternoon, or some combination thereof. We have to rethink how we serve cafeteria food if we're not allowed to have children close by to one another. Phys ed, locker rooms, athletic programs, all of it. So we're starting to think about that, and we want to be prepared for what will hopefully be a reopening in September. But just know that it's been difficult for all of us, as well as I know it has been for the parents at home. You're helping your children with, I don't know about high school people, because I couldn't do the content in high school. My child would be out of luck if I relied on me to help. But and we know that you're there to support your kids and help them through the issues that they're going through, not only academically, but all the other social issues that they're dealing with. And we know it's not easy, and we thank you for your support and partnership as we get through this pandemic. And I think we're all starting to see a glimmer of light at the end of this dark tunnel that we've been going through, and hopefully the governor's plan to reopen in phases will start taking shape, and we'll start seeing some of that. In terms of other news, the state has told us that the Board of Education election vote and the budget vote will be held on June 9th. It's going to be done via absentee ballot. So we are in the process of trying to get everything printed and be able to be mailed out to all the registered voters in town with a self-addressed stamp envelope to be mailed back. So everyone will receive that. In terms of our budget, we did not change it from our original budget hearing, which right now is looking at a 0.88% tax levy increase. We think it's reasonable and will allow us to be prepared for some level of state aid cut that we can expect. We've been told it could be up to 20%. So we've made contingency plans of where that revenue shortfall might be made up without a major hit on our program, which is what we really want to value. You will also have the opportunity to vote for Board of Ed members as well on that date. So that's kind of the news that we have to update you with. And I know Ann's going to provide a bunch more detail from the years. But again, thank you everybody for your support.
Thank you very much. Anne, do you want to go?
Yep, absolutely. So I'm going to follow up and go a bit in chronological order. So first, I also want to express the disappointment that we all feel that we're not going to be able to get back together in the building in person this year. Actually, yesterday, so I live in New Jersey. I'm not sure how many people know that, but the governor in New Jersey announced yesterday that schools would be closed for the remainder of the year. And my children, who are in 4th and 6th grade, were quite disappointed as well, even though, as Dr. Montesano said, it wasn't that it was unexpected, it was just the finality of knowing that was very difficult. So we're doing everything we can, and I will outline some of those end of the year activities to put in place what we think may be possible, and then to also have backup plans in case what we would love to do is not possible. And just, I'll just say that all of our planning up to this point sort of assumed that we would likely not be back in school. So we were kind of keeping that in mind, thinking that that was probably going to be the outcome, unfortunately. So I'm going to go through these events. I just want to remind people that if you have a question, you're welcome to put it in the chat. And then at the end of the meeting, we can also open it up for questions as well if I miss anything or if anything's a bit unclear. So first of all, next week, AP exams begin. This year, they are very different from anything we've ever done in the past. They're being administered at home, online. And following this meeting at 8 o'clock, I'm having another meeting for parents of students taking those exams, just to go over some of these specifics of what it may look like. And I apologize that the meetings are back to back, but actually I have meetings every night this week, so this was the only time I could do it. So I'm not going to go into too many details except to say that if you have a child who is taking an AP exam, please try to attend that 8 o'clock meeting, and if you cannot, it will be recorded and I will circulate the link out for all of you. And incidentally, the meeting is for parents. Students are aware of all of the information we're going to share. Their teachers have been really phenomenal at staying on top of this brand new way that AP exams are going to be administered and keeping students aware of what they need to have in place for those exams. Following APs, our seniors are done attending classes, but we are hosting senior shadowing and senior week together for our seniors for the 2 weeks that follow. So that's the week of Memorial Day and the first week of June. We have had a phenomenal response from parents. We have over 50 parents who have volunteered to host Zoom sessions about their career, their industry, how coronavirus has impacted it. And so we will be organizing those. I'm working with 2 parents to facilitate that. We'll be organizing those and having seniors sign up for them. So I think it's actually going to be a very meaningful week that will allow more students to participate in more and more varied experiences than they've been able to in the past. We will have our awards ceremonies on June 8th. Those will be through distance. We're going to have some virtual ceremonies, but I just want to guarantee that we are still presenting all of the awards that we would regularly present, minus those that some offices or facilities haven't been able to do this year based on staffing. A lot of information about that will come out in the next few weeks, including emails to parents of students who will be receiving awards, so that you can be sure to attend that. We also are, hopefully you're aware that grading has shifted. For the fourth quarter, we've gone pass-fail. This is in line with many districts across the country that understand that distance learning has been quite challenging, and we want to give students the benefit of the doubt. So although we understand there's drawbacks, we feel like overall pass-fail is a positive, but we are still having final assessments after classes finish. And so I am working with Dr. Ketke, the Director of Curriculum and Instruction, to summarize what those final assessments will be. Many of them will be projects. Some will involve some in-person speaking to the teacher. And so we are going to circulate more detailed information about that in the next week or so. Just know that we're staggering those so that students have plenty of time to complete what they're being asked to do. That is 10% of the final grade for a course. And we're really looking at that as an opportunity to sort of bring together the learning for the year. So that's being coordinated. For seniors, we're looking to host a baccalaureate. We're not sure exactly the format of that, but our seniors have expressed that they would really, really love to perform on the stage of the auditorium, even if there was no audience and it was just being filmed to show in a virtual baccalaureate. So we have a number of contingency plans for that, but if your child is a senior and would like to be part of baccalaureate, I'm going to recirculate the Google form where they can sign up. That Google form's due Friday, and then performing arts teachers are going to follow up with all of the students interested in performing. And just so you know, our AP art students will also be participating and sharing their artwork during that ceremony. Graduation, as Dr. Montesano said, is something we're thinking very carefully about, because we feel very strongly that if it is at all possible, we want to have an in-person, socially distanced, we're guessing is going to be required, socially distanced graduation ceremony. We are actually quite lucky that the size of our graduating class is such that this may be feasible and possible. I'm on calls regularly, a few times a week, with principals throughout Westchester, and we're one of the few schools that's actually even considering this. So more information will be available as we learn more about what is feasible and possible. I did want to talk a little bit about curriculum and content coverage, because I know that that is something that people are thinking about. What will happen if I'm in a math course and we don't get through all the math material, and next year we're picking up where we would normally pick up. So I just want to assure you that our departments are having continuous conversations about this, so that each teacher is aware of what was covered in our new distance learning environment and can pick up from that next year, so that we're not asking students to basically learn on their own a whole set of content. I think a few things are important to note. One is we're waiting to hear from the College Board, but we expect that next year's APs will have slightly reduced content like they do this year, understanding that many prerequisite courses this year are not able to cover what they would normally cover. And as Roy said, if next year we're in and out by any chance, or any schools in the world are, these APs are worldwide, so they're going to have to take that into account. So our math teachers are in contact with each other, talking about what is being covered. They're actually paring it down to the most essential content, cutting out some periphery topics, so that we know that our students are getting what they need. The same is true of world languages. Those are the two content areas that are most connected year to year. I also know that some of you are wondering if your child is in, for instance, right now, core chemistry. Core chemistry is a prerequisite for AP chemistry, and you may be wondering if your child has the content, if they're in the course second semester, to be able to enroll in AP chemistry. I did reach out to our AP chemistry teacher, who happens to also teach core chem, and she assured me that they are actually covering what needs to be covered right now in core chem for students who are very successful in that course and meeting the prerequisites to enroll in AP Chem for next year. So rest assured that these are things that are on the minds of our teachers, that our teachers are communicating within department meetings, and that, you know, we're planning accordingly. I did want to answer the question in the Zoom chat, which is, will final assessments change the weighting? The weighting that was released, the weighting for grades for the year or for the semester included a 10% weight for the final assessment. And so that will be the case. That is what we had said, and that will be the case for the final assessments. I think maybe we want to move on from here, and I'm happy to take questions at the end, or again, feel free to put questions in the chat. So Darcy, did you want Anna Baticola to go next? Okay, great. Anne, I'm gonna
Good evening. Okay, so I'm going to just make a comment regarding grading, to pick up on Anne's comment regarding the quarter 4. This is about the midpoint of quarter 4. So we had asked the teachers to check in with parent and student in any situation where the student is scoring between 75 and below, and we really want everyone to finish strong. So you may be receiving an email from the teacher indicating that your student is missing assignment or has some deficiency in a few assignments and really needs to gear up so that everyone will receive a favorable pass for the quarter 4. Okay, let me go on now with our.
Anne, can I just interject there? I just want to remind all parents that physical education is a graduation requirement. Every semester of PE is required to graduate. And students, I'm noticing, because we have a faculty meeting tomorrow and they filled out a sheet for me of any student who's in danger of failing, students are not completing their PE assignments. Please speak to your child, ensure that they're completing their PE assignments, and check your email, because our PE teachers have been very diligent emailing parents if students are not doing that. That is a graduation requirement. They have to pass the course. Sorry, I just needed to add that. Thanks, Anne.
That's true. I was going to add that the counselors are also following up with any student information that we receive regarding a student who is in danger of failing for the quarter 4. Okay, so we too are looking towards the end of the year for our seniors. I had sent a letter out about 10 days ago asking seniors to identify that one college that they had sent their deposit to, if the deposit deadline was May 1st, by going into Naviance, and also by helping us in completing the information in Naviance about the results of each of the other schools that they had applied to. So to date, we've had 94 of our 132 students who have updated in Naviance the college that they're attending. Not all of them, however, have given us detail of the colleges they applied to. So I did send out a copy of the letter, and I apologize, I didn't send the link the first time I did, so I had to send the correct share the link with everybody second time I sent it out. So it's really important. It does help us immeasurably in identifying the results for our students in counseling other students about colleges that they are applying to. Also, we have the senior survey, the senior exit survey. This is the second year that we are offering this survey. Last year, it was funded by the Bronxville School Foundation, and we felt that the results were so valuable that the school is funding it a second year. So I want to thank the 32 students who have responded to date and really encourage the 100 remaining seniors to please, please, please fill out that survey. We really value your input, and I know Ann Meyer can attest to that. We read every word carefully last year, and really tried to attend to some of the comments that students made. And I know that, as I said, our current seniors will really add to that. So please, seniors, complete the senior survey as well as the Naviance survey. Okay. Yesterday was our last session of the junior workshop. And I must say that once we went to the distance learning, the attendance at junior workshops continued to be quite good. So I want to really thank the juniors for being conscientious with the workshops. As of yesterday, we had introduced them to the Common Application, which was our goal for the end of the workshops. So I have a letter that I'm sending out this evening to the juniors and junior parents, reviewing the topics that we covered during the junior workshops and encouraging them to continue to look at the virtual tours and information sessions for each of the colleges that they're considering, so that they can refine their list of prospective colleges, and also to make individual Zoom appointments with the counselor so that we can continue to sort of wrap up the information that they have gathered from the workshops over the semester. Right after Memorial Day, on the 26th or 27th, we'll be holding an essay workshop. Mr. D'Alessandro, Mr. Cross will be delivering that, and I'll be sending out more information. This will be before the regular school day time, probably at 11 o'clock or thereabouts, and that will be for all the juniors. And following the workshop, juniors will be working on their personal statement in their English classes for the balance of the school year. So this will be a wonderful opportunity for them to complete that final piece that is required in the Common Application. So come August, when the Common App becomes live for their grade, they really will only have to transfer most of the information that they've already gathered in the Common App, and with the exception of perhaps a supplemental question that some of the colleges might ask or two. There are very few colleges that really have detailed supplements. So we're very confident that if they have followed along with us, and now for the balance of these 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks during the AP period and so forth, they can complete all of the activities that they were introduced to in the course of the junior workshops. And then have their personal statement completed as well. So we're looking forward now to meeting with the juniors individually and continuing to work with them to their benefit, so they'll be ready to complete that application. 10th grade, we are still looking forward to doing a little interest inventory work with them at the end of May, probably that same week that the juniors are beginning their essay work. And then we'll introduce them to Naviance, so that over the summer they'll have the opportunity to take advantage of the activities that are in Naviance, including a little college search based upon the results of their interests. Our 9th graders, so we've completed our family meetings with 9th grade and are moving on now to the 8th grade. So this week we began our 8th grade family meetings, and it's really been great to welcome the 8th grade students and families to the high school, and we will be continuing doing that over the next 2 weeks. And I think that is all that I have right now. So I will.
And one real quick question in the chat was, when are the essay topics for the class of 2021 available? I guess the Common App essay is a general essay, but I guess this may be referring to college-specific essays.
Well, the college-specific essays would not be available until after August 1st, because that's usually the earliest date when the colleges release the application for that school year.
Thank you.
As far as the Common App, they did adjust the seven topics a couple of years ago, and we have not heard of any change to that. So something that is student-specific, that is somewhat specific to, as I said, student-specific, and it will not change. Yeah.
And then this is not related to your what you discussed. There is another question I did not notice, which
yes.
was about For students enrolling in APs for next year, will there be summer work that needs to be picked up? And I can answer that. Any summer work that is required for AP courses, which we will compile in a document, that will not require any students to come to school to get anything. I am asking all teachers to ensure that any work that is required over the summer for APs does not require a textbook. And for those parents of seniors, we're working on a way for your children to drop off their textbooks when classes end so that we can actually get those back. So more to come on that. We haven't figured that out quite yet.
Right. And one final word about the APs and seniors. I know that seniors are really at wit's end, many of them, and they have very mixed feelings about how the school year is ending, but please, please encourage your seniors to maintain their focus and to really do their best on the AP exams. They are well prepared. Teachers really, as Ann had indicated before, have really been working so diligently to get them to a place where they will succeed with the APs. So they really need to do their best to cooperate and do well, which is great. Yeah.
And for the first time this year, their teachers will receive the work they produce.
Mm-hmm.
So even if it's only out of a level of respect for their teacher, please ask them to do their best. As a former AP Bio and AP Environmental teacher who had some seniors, you know, the work that these teachers put in, they would just appreciate, particularly seniors putting forth effort during that exam. So
Thank you. Yeah.
And now Karen.
Good evening, everyone. Friday hit the Broncos kind of hard, I have to admit. Between our student athletes and our coaches, it was a difficult announcement for us to receive. And as the other administrators have mentioned, it was something we were planning for, but we were hopeful we might get a little bit of season in. So we've now shifted our focus from preparing for a season to trying to bring some closure to a season that didn't happen and some closure to for our senior athletes and make it celebratory for those who have really put a lot of time and effort in, and also encouraging them to stay involved with their team. So our coaches will be working with their teams up through Memorial Day weekend at a minimum. They'll still be in contact with their teams. And so we're shifting a little bit from preparing for a season to how to maintain your own fitness level for yourself and for any future athletic activities that you may have in mind, to just staying involved as well. So a few of our teams are working with the Basque After School program, and we're trying to develop some elementary school clinics. So baseball kicked off a clinic today. They had 30 young baseball players online. Tennis is working on a clinic, and I know lacrosse is. So we're gonna continue to work with our athletes. Our athletes have been great. I have to say, we've run a couple Meet the Athlete days virtually, and to have an opportunity to watch them interact with the younger kids is truly an honor. And it's just a great group of kids doing great work at a very difficult time. So that's been a pleasure to watch. We will not be able to have spring sports awards because we didn't have spring sports, but our major awards, we will meld into one of the existing ceremonies, probably into the high school ceremony. So those awards will be given out, and those are year awards and career awards. So those will still be given out. We're working diligently to try to put together a senior sports video highlight film that we can share with everyone to honor our 53 senior athletes. So Mr. Vaglika and I are working with our Student Athletic Council and our Parent Athletic Council and our coaches to try and make that happen. So more will come out about that. You'll receive a link, and hopefully you can enjoy that. We're trying to maintain any of our team traditions that we can. We're talking about virtual team dinners. Teams that have done specific things to honor their seniors are still trying to do those things. So we're just trying to be supportive of coaches and kids to allow all of that to happen. And our athletic council's working diligently with a way to honor our senior athletes, and there'll be more coming out about that as well, beyond the highlight video. So everyone's busy. We're trying to move from disappointment and trying to be positive and focused, and try to understand, as we do in athletics, that not everything is easy, and yet we come out at the end a little better for it. So that's been our focus, and that's what we'll continue to do.
Thanks, Karen. Darcy, that's it from the administration, so.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Karen. I can say that the PTA is very appreciative of everything the school has done so far, and you know, they're difficult times, I guess, we're living in, which is always relative compared to where you live. But I just wanted to let everybody know, in case senior parents don't know about them yet, or for other people to keep their eyes out for them. The PTA has funded posters to be hung in people's windows, outside on their terraces, or on their front door, anywhere that's visible, to highlight their graduating senior. They will be the yearbook picture that they had chosen and sent in, and they will be here in time for Memorial Day, another sort of way of highlighting our school district for the Memorial Day celebration. And I guess that's it. I guess unless there are other questions for Anne or anybody in the administration.
Happy to take questions if you want to raise your hand in the Zoom or put it in the chat. I don't see any.
Yeah.
Maybe give people another minute. Oh, Leah, do you have a question?
No.
Okay.
Well,
Just
There's-
checking.
There's a question now.
thank you. Sorry, I dropped off by accident.
That's okay. And it says, will there be an honor roll for this year? I'm going to unmute you.
The honor roll is quarterly. So there certainly could be an honor roll for Q4.
That's
Let's
me
see.
again.
Yep.
So, parents, we have a lot of time on our hands, and sort of a lot of time and a lot of stuff to do still. But there was some interest in, I'm sorry, there was a blog out that perked someone's interest about ways of honoring seniors, since a lot has been ended early for them before their expectations. And so the PTA made posters. I'm not sure the size of them, honestly, but posters to hang, and they are a picture of your senior. And it's, if you weren't asked for a picture, it was taken from the yearbook. Whatever picture your senior chose from the yearbook pictures is what the poster will be. And the senior parents can hang them anywhere that they would choose, but it would be nice for your neighbors to be able to see them. So on your front door, from your window, and just to honor your seniors, so that people know that you have a senior graduating in this year of 2020. Okay.
And I think they're working on how that'll be distributed.
Yeah, yeah, the distribution is difficult because the PTA also does the recognition tea for our retirees and our teachers with years of service. And we are trying to figure out ways of getting things to people. So like collecting the textbooks and these.
We're working on a process.
Yeah.
So we will let you know when we have it figured out. I have a few ideas.
Good.
But we need maybe approval for them to take place. So more to come. I don't want to share anything before I get approval for it.
Mm-hmm.
Other questions that people have?
I don't see any. So I'll just say June 2nd, it's a Tuesday at 7 p.m. We will be inviting the incoming ninth graders, so the current eighth graders, to join us, and hopefully maybe we'll know something more. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.